unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Hey, yay, hey, yay. We are all gathered here today to properly discuss a beef, scandal, controversy, mayhem. Oh, we got to unpack today. Ring reporter gets absolutely destroyed. In the words of Ryan Garcia, destroyed. Scorched earth. If this were a video game, we're talking Berserker Barrage, Draw Power. We're talking Glacius, Combo Breaker. And in this video, I'm going to break everything down, let you know what led to the beef between the two reporters, and give you my overall thoughts. So we should have another great show. Let's get unpacked. You dig? What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. Now, boom. You never know. This absolutely blew up on Twitter particularly, but a lot of people tagged me and sent me this particular clip. Ring reporter Mike Coppinger gets absolutely abused. Now, if you're in boxing, you'll probably know who he is. He's on a show with Max Kellerman, and he jumped in the mix and got treated. That Treat Williams, rest in peace. So I'm going to break down what happens, and we'll get started right now. Y'all know how I like to do it. I like to go from the top, so you know who said what and what's going on. Now, I don't want to extend this too long, so hear me and hear me clearly. This is why I tell y'all to follow me on all my social medias. I have a link me to get you to all of my platforms. And the more I'm doing this for y'all, so the more you guys follow the movement, help the channel build and, take it to new heights, the more you'll be informed, because I can only do so much and I can't keep going over the same thing. So you will be in the know if you subscribe. Eddie Hearn kind of retaliated at Dana White, Zuffa Boxing, which TKO, Turkey Al-Sheikh, Zuffa Boxing, Dana White, they're all under the same umbrella with the Zuffa bag, right? So seemingly there seems to be tension from Turkey and the promoters that he stepped in with initially. I've already made videos about it. Again, that's why you guys got to follow. Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions, they are suing his company, Sella, so pretty much the Saudis, saying that there was a breach of contract and, things that were promised weren't being lived up to, right? Eddie Hearn kind of seems to be in that crossfire, right? Where you would think like they were all on the same team, but I feel like Turkey kind of put his flag in the ground and he's pretty much with Dana White and TKO. Like he almost used the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Frank Warrens, and the Eddie Hearns of the world as like a lily pad to like leapfrog, learn and, overall understand the business a bit, and then kind of bounced on them, so to speak, pull back the budget, and is putting his stake in the ground with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. And Conor Benn, who had been with Eddie Hearn for 10 years, recently signed to Zuffa Boxing. That's what I'm saying. This is a lot of tension, a lot going on, right? So Eddie Hearn felt betrayed. He was like, I'm absolutely gutted, mate, and I didn't see this coming. I thought he was loyal like AJ. So what Eddie Hearn did is almost retaliatory, where he just signed some kind of matchroom talent agency deal with UFC's fighter, Tom Aspinall, right? So, in the words of Tupac Shakur, he said, touch one of mine on everything you owe. I will destroy everything you touch. So eye for an eye. You took Conor Benn. A week later, I'm working with Tom Aspinall, which is, one of the top names at heavyweight for the UFC, right? So that happened. Now, let me advance the storyline. Turkey, I feel like he felt the type of way that Eddie Hearn did that, and he posted some like snarky remarks. Y'all know how Turkey get down. Eddie Hearn, don't worry, I am always here for you. And if you call me, unlike Conor Benn, I will answer the phone. So that's that's like sneak dissing. You posting a picture of you and Eddie Hearn, and you talking about unlike Conor Benn. Like, why'd you need to say that, bro? Unlike Conor Benn, hit me up and I'll answer the phone. And he put sunglasses. So clearly he's being like facetious or condescending and leaving a snarky comment, right? Which that wasn't even the worst of it. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on, right? This is what Turkey also said. Ring Magazine posted this. Now, it is very sad in the world of boxing what Ring Magazine has become. They call themselves the Bible of boxing. Well, if this is the Bible of boxing, then consider me atheist because I don't subscribe to how they're acting like one big high school. It's real chatty patty, playing games. And now what they're doing is they're using their social media to throw darts and target certain people. Like Frank Warren is suing them. So they start lying on Frank Warren, talking about, oh, his tickets ain't selling because he ain't working with us and he can't sell no tickets and blah, blah, blah. I've already talked about this. So they're using this as like the platform. They're using it as like a smear campaign to like tarnish people's name, right? So that was the Frank Warren part. He's suing, a whole nother issue, made videos about it. But I showed you the first thing that Turkey said, oh, call me. Unlike Conor Benn, I'll answer the phone. So we took your guy, and then now we making these types of comments, right? But listen to what Turkey said on Ring. While speaking to Ring, Turkey Al-Sheikh said this, quote, Eddie Hearn, come and put your head on the chest of your father. Bro, what? Like, what is going on? Put your head, he said, lay your head on my pillow. Bro, put your head on the chest of your father, right? And he's not talking about Barry Hearn. He's talking about himself. I will give you a warm hug. And then he said, the world is filled with evil people. Bro, what are we talking about? Again, how can you respect this from Ring? You're supposed to be a professional organization and your promoter beefs are spilling over to the social media and you're making it public like some high school drama or like Love and Hip Hop or whatever. And then to top it off, in Saudi, they had a journalist like unalived, almost slipped up. But look up Jamal. I'm not even going to say the full name because the algorithm will know the name and then it'll look like I'm talking about craziness. But a journalist was unalived. And you got Turkey talking about the world is filled with evil people, right? So why are you using your social media to do these types of biddings? Like if you're getting sued, handle that in court. You know what I mean? Boxing fans don't need to hear like all the dirty laundry. That's one thing that my parents taught me at a young age is what goes on in this house stays in this house. You know what I mean? Don't go to school and through the neighborhood airing out all your grievances and dirty laundry. You know, you're only opening the floodgate for people to leave comments and judge it and jump in the mid. It just get nasty, it get ugly, right? So for whatever reason, Ring is unprofessional and they've elected to beef with promoters they were working with, you know, publicly and put these like weird comments. So reporter Luke Thomas, right, said, imagine working at the Ring and then expecting to be taken seriously in any capacity whatsoever, which is pretty much what I'm saying is like, how can this be the Bible of boxing and you playing Rugrat games, you Tommy Pickles, you Chucky, you Angelica, you know what I mean? Like you're playing these little kid games, trying to beef with Eddie Hearn to steal his people and then saying the world's filled with evil people and I'm your daddy. Like, come on, bro. What part of the game is that? So I agree with Luke Thomas here, but guess who didn't? The shill of the year, right? Mike Coppinger actually, like, I guess called himself clapping back and responded to this. You know what I mean? He responded to this and it went left from there on. Now, this ordeal got so big on Twitter that Grok or whatever the AI is called, which does like little summaries, has so much traction on this storyline that they made like a sub, almost like a Reddit subthread on this whole like situation. Like crazy. Luke Thomas unleashes rant against Mike Coppinger in boxing media clash. Like literally it summarizes because so many people were talking about what I'm talking about in this video, right? But let's get to what, look, my boy Dan the Boxing Man got Luke Thomas with a Caleb Plant body and got Cop on the ground like Darrell when Caleb was digging the grave and like, come on, bro. Shout out to my boy Dan the Boxing Man. So I already went over what Luke Thomas said. He was like, imagine, you know, being taken seriously with this type of stuff because he sees the play. He sees, like, I don't know him, but obviously he sees the BS, right? Guess what? Shield of the year. Give it up, and give it to me. A Big Mac doubles DC and this song, so I'm going to get sick with it. The Shield of the year, Ring Magazine's Mike Coppinger decided to clap back, which was one of the biggest mistakes he done made. And stay tuned to the end of the video for the ether, right? Mike Coppinger responded to Luke Thomas and 48,000 views. He says, and who takes you seriously? All you seem to do is sit on a high horse of moral superiority. Easy enough, I suppose, to cosplay as the authority on ethics when it's what you are best known for. Like, what? And then Luke Thomas went berserker barrage. And that's what we're going to get to in this portion of the video. Mike Coppinger should have never messed with this man because he went bonkers and flipped the script. And I'm going to get set up with my trusty headphones and we'll review it. Now, I will put Luke Thomas's channel in the description so you can watch it in its entirety and, you know, give him the viewership. But definitely go support real journalism, right? Remember, I tried to tell you, old media is crazy. They coming out with all kinds of propaganda and narratives and stuff like that. So when you see people like Boxingego, you see my man Luke, and they putting it down, this is what y'all need to get behind. Y'all getting behind clickbait and fake and all this jive, right? But we gonna get into it.
Love how Mike Coppinger thought he was clever attacking you by saying that you have ethics and morality. All the replies under Mike's tweet are killing him. Oh, Mike, I haven't got a chance to weigh in yet. I'm about to dunk on you.
Hey, yo, why he started like that? Why he looked like he been waiting for this. You've been waiting on this moment. My sermon is like an omen. I'm serving him Eric's sermon. I saw the window was open and I jumped through it. He act like like he been waiting for this. He said, I'm about to dunk on you. Shaquille O'Neal.
In ways that your fucking grandchildren are going to feel. Can you believe the balls on this guy? Can you believe the balls on Mike Coppinger? A guy who tried to get Daniel Kinahan an award for, I believe it was Promoter of the Year. Maybe it was Manager of the Year. I have to double check this one. But he was trying to say Daniel Kinahan was deserving of a boxing accolade within the industry.
That's big facts. Mike Coppinger was advocating for Daniel Kinahan. If you don't know Daniel Kinahan, Google it. Notorious, Irish. They say he's involved in all types of stuff, right? BBC, pause, did a whole documentary on him. Go watch that. The U.S. Treasury put sanctions on Daniel Kinahan. Remember when Tyson Fury and MTK Global? So MTK Global had to officially disavow what they had going on. That's why you don't really see it anymore. You remember they're sponsoring YouTube channel. All that is because of Kinahan. And I'm not going to get into it. I've already got into it, and it is what it is. But he's cooking. Mike Coppinger was saying, you talking about morals and ethics. You said Daniel Kinahan was manager of the year or whatever, advisor of the year in boxing. And go look up, I can't even say this stuff, but go watch what happened at a weigh-in in Ireland.
Itself. Mike, look at me, brother. Look at me. Do you think you have these jobs because you are good at them? Is that what you think? Do you think you sit on, I have my issues with Max Kellerman, but he's very good on camera. Very, very good. Very, very, very talented broadcaster. Do you think you sit on that panel because you are good at this? Do you think that you give scoops because you do intrepid reporting in an honest way? Which, by the way, half of the things you report are wrong, and they have to get corrected by other folks in the industry, not limited to Dan Rayfield, but many others.
That's big facts. Mike Coppinger, he try to get the scoop and be first, but it won't be accurate. And he'll be like, oh, this and this fight is happening, or this happened with Gervonta Davis. And then it proves to be inaccurate as time wears on.
Do you think you have these jobs because you earned them? You got these jobs because you're the biggest of power in combat sports. You're everything that's wrong with the profession. You're the avatar of the failure of sports journalism. You.
Oh my goodness. The man is cooking. He said you a CS. You a D1 glazer. You out here glazing. That's why you getting work and getting looks, because everybody need a glazer on the team to put out propaganda and cap. Let's go.
You, brother. You take marching orders and do the bidding of a guy who works for MBS. You work for a theocratic monarchy. Who the do you think you are, brother? You think you get these jobs because you're good at them? You get these jobs because you swallow the balls of people in power. You are useful to powerful people because you are a idiot stooge. That is why.
He going off, bro. This ain't what you want, cop.
You are you are the walking embodiment of the rot within this industry. So it is not a surprise to me that you have lucrative jobs. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise to me that you sit on that show. Again, Max Kellerman's good at that job. I don't like the turn he's taken, but he's very good at that job. And I would never say otherwise.
I disagree there. Max Kellerman, I don't know. HBO, Max, all right. When he was rapping, that was trash. HBO Max Kellerman was all right for a while, but this new Max Kellerman trash. So we disagree there. I can't say Max Kellerman is good. He be on Zuffa Boxing talking about, oh, but Kalen Walsh, he's reminding me of Roy Jones. Bro, don't ever compare him to. You could have said any other Roy, Siegfried and Roy Rogers. You could have said any other Roy Scheider. Like, you could have said any other Roy, and maybe it's halfway believable. But Kalen Walsh and Roy Jones Jr., bro, like that. These comparisons are just weak. So me and Luke disagree there. I don't think Max Kellerman is good at all, especially now.
Well, I mean, I guess the commentary is a little different these days. But on that panel show, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. You are like, if he's Howard Stern, you're Beetlejuice.
Bro, I know the man didn't just call him the Howard Stern Beetlejuice. You don't even get the dignity of being the Michael Keaton. I watched The Exorcist 87 times and it just keeps getting better. Whoa! Like, you don't even get the dignity of the Tim Burton Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? Nice model. Beetlejuice. Bro, you don't even get to be the Keaton Beetlejuice. That man said you the Howard Stern Beetlejuice with the weird voice. Wow.
You're the sideshow that they let on there because they need somebody who has no beliefs in anything other than you gotta suck the balls of power as vociferously as possible to get ahead.
Bro, he said vociferous suckage.
And that's why you pushed Daniel Kinahan on the industry. It's why you pushed Turkey on the industry. And dude, you'll push anybody who just lines your pocketbook. And don't think I don't know some of the stories about places you've lived and why you lived there and how unethical all that was. You are the walking embodiment of the failure of sports journalism. Shut the up. Shut your mouth.
Shut your pie hole, man. What movie is that from? Bro, he going off.
You are an untalented zero. You can't write for You're a mushed mouth nothing. And by the way, I know about some of your Showtime tryouts, which you up royally. You're bad at this.
Bro, he said he got cooked on Showtime. But he definitely can't write.
You're bad at all of it. You're good at one thing. One. You are a cowardly sucking stooge to the worst malevolent actors in all of sports.
Oh my God. So a lot of y'all sent me this clip. I did not watch it. Like, I want that to be very clear. This reaction is this is how I do on my channel. I don't rehearse it. I don't read a teleprompter. I don't need that. I've been doing this so long. I don't need a script. I don't need a teleprompter. I don't need a cameraman. I don't need an editor. I don't need nothing. So this is my first time even hearing any of it. All I know is that he was beefing with Cop because y'all gave me an overview of what was happening. But wow, he going off, bro. He going absolutely berserk. He going ham.
That's you, brother. That's you. You don't have a career on talent. You don't have a career on merit. You have a career on prostitution.
I know he didn't just call him a bro. He called him a toot. Said he on the track with it.
That's what you are. You're a Do you understand that? You're a And I don't know if anyone's told you this enough. No one in the industry respects you, by the way. Maybe they don't like me either, but they definitely don't respect you. They at least fear me a little bit getting sideways with me. They don't fear you at all. You are nothing. You are nobody. You are talentless. I have to listen to you on that panel with Max. Max gets up there and sounds like a great orator, and then you get up there like the Make-A-Wish kid. Why is he here? You don't work in this industry on ability. You work in this industry on flexibility.
Oh, that's a bar. Hold on. Oh my gosh. He chewing them. Pause. Bro, that's a bar. This man said, you do not work in this industry. I don't know if he got a teleprompter, but he cooking. That's a bar. He said, you don't work in this industry based on ability. There's no ability, no agility. You get your job on flexibility because you'll bend any way to go with whatever narrative that they need to push. You like Lupe Fiasco, kick, push. Oh my gosh. This is worse than I thought.
I work in this industry off the sweat of my brow. You'll never understand that. And I'm not Mother Teresa. I've made mistakes in my life, a million of them. I'll make a million more. You wouldn't know what it meant to act ethically if your life depended on it. You're one of those models that they fly in from Miami to Dubai to get on. That's what you are.
Bro, he said you 2 in 1 cup, basically. Wow.
You're a So you work at an outlet that is turned into the mouthpiece of one of the guys who works directly for the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and you're worried about what I have to say. Worry about how you're going to be remembered, such that you're remembered at all. Don't worry about me reminding everyone that you can't, like, if you're a real journalist, you can't work at a place like that. Like, you would have tendered your resignation. You don't have a career on ability. And I hope you understand that. On some level, I know you do. You're not good on camera. You're not good on microphone. You write like a fifth grader. You get half the details wrong. But, if there is somebody powerful in the industry that needs a job done, needs something laundered in the media, you're Johnny on the spot. Shut the up and mind your own business, which is being a to the industry. You love how Mike Coppinger thought he was.
What on earth? Wow. Again, shout out to LT. The link will be in the description. The man went, I mean, he already summarized it. I ain't really got nothing else to say. I told you this wasn't what Cop wanted. That definitely wasn't what you wanted, bro. You got treated, bruh. And it's hard to argue with any point that he made. Like, anybody that knows boxing, they know that, like, I'm glad people are speaking up because you already know my plight. You already know I've been feeding old media and like the propaganda and the narratives in this space. So it's good to see more people coming out and coming out swinging. You know what I mean? And for me, I feel like definitely Coppinger is one of those people where you got to watch out the guys that have had gigs with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, listen, relationship, like real, not like messing with a chick or whatever, but real relationships, my relationships all lasted long. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about like people who are like women I've called my girlfriend. You know what I mean? They were long relationships. Same thing with my employment before I was doing this and making money on the internet. Every job I had was like, I was there for years. So I feel like it's questionable the people who can only keep a job for 8 months, 6 months, 2 weeks, a year. You know what I mean? Like that to me. And when you're bouncing around, like, why'd you work for so many companies? And that's kind of what it is with Coppinger, right? You were with USA Today. You worked with PBC for a period of time. You're with Ring now. You were with ESPN. Like, you know, that's already 4. I don't know the man whole, like, I know there's more than that, though. You know, like, how you have all these gigs. And one thing that he said that I definitely agree with, you're not good on camera, bro. I can understand a progression. Like, you first get a camera, you first get a mic, you might not initially be able to float, you know what I mean, like your boy Ego. You're not going to be able to get on this mic and it's not going to happen. It takes years of practice putting out. I got 8,000 plus videos, bro. That's why I could do this off the top of the dome effortless. I'm like Jay-Z. I'll be one taking my like Hove. You know what I mean? So I get it. I know not everyone's going to be like Ego, the best in the business, and it's not even close. But you don't seem like you're even progressing at all. Like, I feel like when I hear him, he's like stuttering Stanley, like stuttering and but Shakur, like I don't know, something like he flicked it or something. I don't know what's going on, bro. His voice will inflect and he'll be like arguing with the panel. It's like socially awkward. You know what I mean? And I don't know him. I don't know him personally, but what I do know is what Ring is doing is not good for the sport and the industry. And then to have somebody try to shield and force feed it. That's why I'm saying people like Luke, people like Ego, I'm not asking for a handout, but if people are taking their craft seriously and striving to give you accurate, reliable information and opinion, you don't have to like my opinion on boxing, but I don't feed y'all propaganda. You know, I can't speak for nobody else, but I know me, I don't feed y'all that, you know, and I call out when it is happening. And I think salute to Luke Thomas. More people should be doing that. Especially boxing is like the Wild Wild West. I just watched a movie, The Quick and the Dead. Young Leonardo DiCaprio, young Russell Crowe, Sharon Stone, rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Great movie. But that's what the Wild Wild West was like, and that's how boxing is. There's like no rules to this. Pure anarchy and people doing whatever, saying whatever. And there's no integrity with a lot of people. A lot of people, they lack integrity to the point where they'll force feed you anything. Like, and what Luke is saying is so true, especially with Coppinger, is your opinion sways like the wind. Depending on who's paying, that kind of determines. Like, for example, in the past, Mike Coppinger will probably talk about how the belts are needed, yada, yada, yada. But now Turkey and Zuffa, they're pushing like, forget the sanctioning bodies. We don't need them. And now that's what he's pushing, right? Or people question PBC and Al Heyman, said they were overspending and inflating fighters' purses and ruining boxing. PBC got it the most, right? Al Heyman got it the most. They said he was the cancer of boxing and he's overpaying and it wasn't wrong. But then Turkey came in overpaying for Crawford, Madrimov, fights you knew wasn't going to sell. You weren't going to re-up that money and nobody bats an eyelash. Nobody's questioning it. Nobody's like, yo, how you got that type of money to just purely lose? You know what I mean? Like, Crawford is a great fighter, but also a loss leader. You had to pay Canelo 150 mil, 120 mil, 100 mil plus. And then you had to play Crawford 35, 40, 50 mil to the point where he's retiring. You dig? That fight didn't make, you could tell by the live gate, it didn't make enough money to justify those purses. But again, you have people with the ring, they're going to shield for it. They're not going to call it out. Or here's another thing with Ring, Zuffa, it's all connected through the Saudis and Turkey or whatever. Jai Opetaia about to fight a guy nobody asked for him to fight, while David Benavidez is moving up to fight Zordo Ramirez in Cinco de Mayo, and they're trying to act like the Jai Opetaia fight is amazing. And, oh, it's the best versus the best. Zuffa's putting on the best versus the best. How? How is Charles Martin, F.A. Ajagba, how is that the best versus the best heavyweight right now? They got Usyk about to fight Van Damme and kickboxer. What are you doing? Keep going. Hey, Frankie, keep going. You know, he about to fight Bloodsport over here. And when Floyd, again, propaganda. When Floyd Mayweather was about to fight Conor McGregor, some of these same people lost their mind. They wrote all types of smear campaign stuff. Oh, Floyd's ruining his legacy. Oh my gosh, why is Floyd fighting the crossover fight? Why he fighting a mixed martial artist? Conor McGregor, we knew who he was. I don't know what you're thinking. Shut your mouth, mate. Like, everybody knew Conor. Not everyone knows Paul Verhoeven or whatever his name is. Rico, I don't even know his name, bro. And all these shills, they not saying nothing about it. They're like, oh man, great fight. Usyk deserves to pick whoever he wants to fight. So bravo to Luke Thomas for calling out BS. I mean, he really gave Cop the business. That was crazy. But again, hard to argue with facts. Hard to argue. And then, like, I don't like hypocrisy. Like, people, again, you don't have to agree with my take on a upcoming fight or whatever, but you can't say I don't have work ethic. You can't say I don't have no integrity. You don't say, I get brand deals all the time that I don't take and bring to the channel because I'm not just trying to feed y'all and co-sign anything that I don't support. But I cannot say the same for many a party in my sport where, you know, some of these people are so desperate, they'll get behind anything in order to, I guess, try to win or whatever the case is. Anything. They not saying nothing. They'll write anything. Like, literally, I just went over earlier in this video, Ring Magazine is using their social media platform not for headlines and news and updates and fight announcements. I mean, they do that too, but they're waging war with promoters like the fans are supposed to care about that. If y'all getting sued, y'all beefing, what does that got to do with the growth of boxing? And another lie that people like Ring Magazine reporters and Coppinger ain't calling out is Turkey came in, said he trying to unify the game of boxing. Remember, all y'all was like, Turkey's saving boxing. He's trying to bridge the gap and bring all the promoters together so there's connectivity and continuity and all the promoters are going to be working together and he has the money and facilities and infrastructure, resources to do it. And this is going to bridge that gap. And then it looked like all right, Eddie Hearn, we never really seen him work with Frank Warren. And then they started working together, doing 5v5s and stuff like that. But now look at the game. It was all a ruse, right? Now he taking shots at Eddie Hearn. He taking shots at Frank Warren. He being sued by Frank Warren. He's stealing Eddie Hearn's fighter. Golden Boy, they sending people at DAZN to try to secretly snatch a Golden Boy fighter, Virgil Ortiz, and get a boots fight done. And so it's like cutthroat business right now in the sport of boxing. Word up. So to me, all that stuff was a lie. You're not bridging the gap. You're causing tension with the promoters. And Turkey does it a lot. Remember, he was beefing with Tim Tszyu, laughing because he lost. Beefing with Canelo, which he later mended it. You know what I mean? So I hope more people are inspired by real reporting and calling out the fake stuff. And leave all the BS in 2025, 2026 and beyond. Y'all should start unsubscribing, stop watching, hit people where it hurts. I don't worry about it because I have integrity. No one's going to stop watching Boxingego because I always do a valid job and I'm always going to strive. If I ever made a mistake, I've always came out and corrected it. Like, hey, this information that I put out, it turned out this wasn't true. I've always done editor corrections. There's a lot of people, they'll lie to you. They'll say Boots is fighting Virgil Ortiz. And then when we find out they're not fighting, they don't even do a correction. Like, oh, I was wrong. They want to act like they knew it all along. Like, come on, bro. Start calling this stuff out. Link in the description for Luke Thomas's video. My link in the description. Follow real journalism. People standing on business and standing for something. Let me know how I did. Let me know how Luke did in his video. But definitely a great watch. I see why y'all sent it to me. We Unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.